All right, Belly, appreciate you joining us. Thank you for that. Moving on, and yet another display of Pakistan's habitual aggression and blackmail. Pakistan's Defence Minister Khwaja Asif has issued an open threat of war against India over the Indus water issue. Speaking on ARY News, Pakistani Defence Minister Khwaja Asif declared that water is part of Pakistan's national security and warned that Islamabad will not hesitate to go to war if it perceives any threat to its access to Indus Basin waters. These comments come amidst ongoing tensions following India's decision to suspend the 1960 Indus Water Treaty. The suspension was announced after the tragic terror attack in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir in April 2025, which claimed the lives of 26 innocent people. Few days ago, India told the UNHRC that the 1960 Indus Water Treaty no longer reflected the present-day realities and cannot remain frozen in time. But Pakistan is grappling with a major water crisis as Pakistan depends on the Indus system for 80% of its farmland and 93% of its water use, raising stakes in dispute. But as stated in the UNHRC, India expects Pakistan to take credible steps against terrorism to create conditions for any future engagement. Let's talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the show is Air Commodore Sanjeev Mehndi Ratta, former Indian Air Force officer, Major General Ashwini Sivach, defense and geopolitical expert, Ambassador Veena Sikri, former diplomat, also joins us on the program. All right, ma'am, I'll begin with you. It's understandable that Pakistan is pretty used to issuing empty threats, which they never follow through. But the fact of the matter is that this threat is coming a year after we suspended this treaty. What is this a function of? Is this Pakistan's slow reaction to the realities of the world? Or do you think that considering what's going on in POJK at this point in time as well, Pakistan is looking to flex its muscles because it perceives that India is behind whatever is happening in POJK?
I think, thank you. I think first of all, Pakistan has to look within itself. The summer is well upon us, and in anticipation of a shortage of water, which is there every year, especially in Sindh and Balochistan, they're trying to already, preempt the situation by blaming it on India. I think India putting the Indus Water Treaty into abeyance was the immediate factor was, of course, the absolutely dastardly attack on the innocent tourists in Pahalgam. But this has been discussed for a long decade before that. This every time there's a terrorist attack, we always, because this is a big, big issue, that Pakistan, throughout the existence of this Indus Waters Treaty, has always operated it against India's interests. And India has been forced at every stage to accept all the objections raised by Pakistan, not to accept them, but to discuss them. And this delayed it enormously. And all the projects that we have in J&K and the water projects for Punjab, for Haryana, for Rajasthan, all these projects were delayed because of Pakistan raising one objection after another. And after the Pahalgam attack, India drew the line, enough is enough. Blood and water cannot flow together. You cannot have terrorist attacks at lip and then expect that the Indus Water Treaty benefits will come to you. And this has been completely put in abeyance, and India is now continuing. In the last 1 year, we are able to take up the projects which were held up all these years, and we are able to provide the water resources that we have planned for our own people. And I must say that in Pakistan itself, the issue is the misuse of water resources. The bulk of the water is taken by the farmers of Punjab, and these are mostly the military people. They are the ones, the army officers and the ex-army officers have the largest farmlands, and they take all the water for themselves. Even the dam being built in POJK, the dam, the water of that is going to Punjab, and it goes to Punjab at 15 rupees a unit. But for the people of POJK, the cost is 50 rupees a unit. So they're discriminating and supplying water, water and from this dam to the people where the dam is located at a much higher rate. That's one of the reasons why the people of POJK are so upset. And in fact, in the recent demonstrations there, the government, central government now saying, okay, maybe we'll give it to a cheaper rate or something like that. So basically, the water is kept within Punjab drained out there, nothing goes to Balochistan, nothing goes to Sindh, and they're completely devoid of water. So this internal problem, which they must look at, they must look within themselves first. And I think it's India, up to India to raise these issues, tell them, point the finger back, show them the mirror, and show them that what they are doing to themselves is what is causing the water problem, not anything that India is doing. India, for example, our, the Ular barrage, this is only a barrage. It has not retained water, but still it was to be held up all these years because no, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. And we were forced to accept all of those. And even the other, this issue of pondage, all these technical issues coming up and saying you can't do this, which we are now doing, and even the desilting that we are now doing, which is greatly helping the condition of our hydroelectric projects and our dams. And this is all to the benefit of the Indian people. And in fact, Pakistan must look within itself to use the whatever water resources they have for the better use of their own people, and not be as exclusive as they always are about anything to do with the Pakistan economy. Only a few people get the benefit, the vast majority remains poor and helpless.
You're absolutely right. General Sivach, coming to you now, what do you think is the justification behind such a threat by Khwaja Asif? Let's also look at the fact that the Pakistani economy has never fared as bad as it is faring today, especially in the crisis which is facing West Asia and the Middle East. Petrol per litre is across 400 rupees. The currency, the Pakistani rupee, is as good as paper, and yet they want to talk about a war with India. Where will they get the money from?
Absolutely. Uday, one thing is very clear, the economy of Pakistan is in doldrums. They're not denying the fact that they have about $180 billion debt. Their exports of textile industry is almost closed. Investment is not coming due to a poor law and order and terrorism increasing. Whereas imports are increasing almost 2 to 3 times in last about 10 years. Their rupee has fallen down compared to dollar almost 87% in last 2 years. So today the economy is so bad that Pakistan cannot sustain itself, and that's why everyone says that there is a political crisis, economic instability, and terrorism increasing manifold, and there are chances of Pakistan slipping into a civil war. Why they are saying it? That Pakistan has mismanaged everything. If you talk about Indus Water Treaty of 1960, which was brokered by the World Bank, now this treaty has held on 65-71 war, and this treaty is tilted toward Pakistan, no denying the fact. We have been magnanimous in giving them much more than they are basically due for. Remember, there are 6 rivers. The eastern river, Ravi, Byas and Satluj, is dedicated to India. We can make use of that water. And the western river, basically Indus, Satluj and basically Chenab. Now these Indus, Jhelum and Chenab, these 3 rivers, 80% of water is used by Pakistan and 20% water is to be used by India. India had never used water of these 3 western rivers more than 5%, which is authorized to us up to 20%. After Pahalgam, what has happened is, when we have held in abeyance Indus Water Treaty, we have said enough is enough, let's use our complete 20% of water. And that's why, and this water run of the river. And not only that, if you see it, that the tunnel which is being made from Chenab to Byas, it's about 10 kilometers of channel, the water is diverted. And that's well within the right. Whatever India is doing is well within right, what is authorized to us as per the Indus Water Treaty is concerned. And no denying the fact, as Ambassador Sikri was telling, water and blood cannot flow together. So that's why we held it in MA. Now, if you talk about the Pakistan, how did they mismanage their water resources? After independence and when these canals were made, canals were basically feeding Punjab. Very less water was going to Sindh and Balochistan. Now this is biting them. And if you talk about POJK, the Krishan Ganga river, which is known in India, is called as the Neelam river. Now that's the main source of water for POJK. The river is being basically now been tried to put it toward Punjab. So it has been totally diverted toward Punjab, and that was one of the main points of POJK, that the main river, which is Neelam, is feeding 80% water to Punjab, and same with the Bangla Dam, where the power is produced, is in POJK, but they have to pay 5 to 10 times more than the cost of the power which is being paid by Punjab. So the mismanagement which is done by Pakistan is cannot be attributed toward India. India is using Indus Water Treaty as per the letter and spirit. We are using the eastern rivers which are authorized to us, that is Ravi, Byas and Satluj. As for the western rivers, we are not using the 20% which is authorized. Now we are trying to use it. And this is what is hurting Pakistan, because Pakistan was used to use 100% of that water. Now as far as the threat is given by Asif Khwaja, the defense minister, it's a hollow threat, and he just wanted to divert the attention. See the situation which is happening in POJK. People are on the road, whether it is Muzaffarabad, Mirpur, Jhangar, Danial, Bagh, Kotli, or Pakistan, Punch and Rawalkot, and there is chakka jam and shutter down. The people want now to either become independent or come to India, because they are feeling they are considered as second-class citizens. So overall situation in Pakistan is going from bad to worse, and they are not able to manage their own house properly, and they are trying to put finger toward India, possibly to make it look like this is a strategy to divert the attention of people from mismanagement of resources which has been done by Pakistan over a period of time. Uday.
All right, let me also rope in Air Commodore Mendiratha into this conversation. Commodore Mendiratha, how are you looking at this, wake-up call that Pakistan has had, that they want to wage war against India owing to the Indus Water Treaty?
Yeah. Let's keep the rhetorics aside and come to the facts for a minute. Like we had spoken yesterday about it, at least 3 speakers, members in the Parliament of Pakistan, have spoken about how the war is about to start and how India is going to attack us. All the indications are there that India is going to attack us. From yesterday to today, what's happened is, if you see the facts about the water, we'll talk about the Indus a little later. Today in Balochistan and Sindh, you look at all the major canals, they are under very low level pressure is there because of gross mismanagement, as has been brought out by other speakers, and it's as low as 40 to 80% of the normal which it should be. So that is causing a lot of concern, and that has to be controlled in a way that you politicize it and you bring it on to India. The ground reality about the Indian water and the Indus Valley Indus water is that there is no change whatsoever. In fact, the ground reality is we have just suspended the treaty. That is it. If we are going to stop or reduce the water, that is going to take a lot of time. The ground reality is we right now do not have those kind of reservoirs there, which we are going to make. We don't have those kind of hydro plants, which we are going to make. And diversification also takes years. It doesn't happen overnight because it's a hilly terrain, and thereafter we have to see the levels. We may require a lot of tunnels and all those things. I mean, it's not that you just divert the water and it starts going elsewhere. That is not so. And like it has been brought out by the Major General, in fact, they are getting surplus water since 1960 as per the treaty. And we've not been using, we've been using hardly any amount rather than the 20% which we can, which we would be using. And when you say blood and water will not flow together, we are going to change our strategy. We have suspended the treaty. That is it. On ground, the water is going as it was going, and it's not reduced. And even if it is going to reduce, it's going to take a long term, and it's going to reduce very slowly and keep increasing. But right now, the problem in Pakistan is to stop the civil war and to stop it from being fragmented, you have to bring it on that everything is on India and we are going to fight with them. Either they say India is about to attack us, or you say we are going to attack India. Though he was a little careful in saying that in case it happens that we have a problem of water security, we are going to treat it as a national security and we will answer with an attack. So that is, he's talking about the future. But the fact is, he is just talking of the war because there is no other way to sort out and to keep the situation under control about what it is right now. That is a fact on the ground.
Right, ma'am, how are you looking at India's response here? Do we even need to respond to these empty threats coming out of Pakistan?
Oh, I think they can be largely ignored, but I think that we really should highlight for the global community the way in which Pakistan is misusing all the water that it's been getting. And we know quite rightly, as has been pointed out, that under the Indus Water Treaties, Pakistan has been getting far more than what they are entitled to. And in fact, India has been unable to use their own rightful share of the eastern rivers or even the western rivers because of the constant objection being raised by Pakistan on that. And this is one of the big factors that has caused so much dissatisfaction in India. And it's amazing that the waters of the western rivers are for the people of Jammu and Kashmir. But Pakistan doesn't care that they should be able to use the rightful share, whatever is allowed for in the treaty, for the people of Jammu and Kashmir. No, they are objecting to it. And instead of that, we have been patient all these years, and now it's high time that this kind of a threat is absolutely Khwaja. In fact, the defense minister's role in Pakistan is well known. It's very weak. It's really the Field Marshal Asim Munir who calls the shots. And I think that they're trying to whip up this kind of frenzy in anticipation of shortfalls in the summer due to mismanagement, not due to any way in which the water supply has been stopped by India, not at all, because while we've got all the plans, they are being implemented. As has been pointed out, it takes time and it's not going to happen overnight. But the internal mismanagement is happening all the time, even as we speak. And I told you about Mangla Dam, how that has become such a critical issue where the water is not reaching, and even the other projects, the Dema Basha Dam and all the other projects coming on stream in Pakistan are not going to be used for the people of either Sindh or Balochistan. So I think that while we have to keep a close track, and I'm sure we are following carefully what the defense minister is saying, I do think that we should be rebutting it on the facts of the matter. That is absolutely important. The impression to the people of Pakistan is being generated as though we are now stopping the water. We've kept the treaty in abeyance. There are certain strong reasons why we've done that, but the fact that the water is still going should be pointed out. But the mismanagement must be pointed out even more, not only to the people of Pakistan, but to the people of the world. That you cannot have this kind of a fake issue rate between an upper riparian and a lower riparian, when the lower riparian is completely mismanaging. For the last 7 decades, they've been completely mismanaging their water supply. And the rich farmers of Punjab are stopping all the water for their own purposes.
All right. Commodore Medilata, your thoughts on why should India, largely in a future as a diplomatic tactic and a strategy, ignore Pakistan as much as possible?
See, when the rhetoric is there, we know the reasons. The only thing is, when it comes to the international opinion, we have to keep our international opinion updated, and rightfully so. Also, we have to give the facts so that it's very clear that what are the facts on ground, which are always on our side, because we are trying to be proper and not trying to just fool our own people and just trying to avoid a situation which is going to break into a civil war sooner or later. Because if you notice, like the other speakers have said, things are not really rosy. And right from the western side to the southwest and to the eastern side, all sides of Pakistan, they are having serious issues. And now probably they are not going to get too much of money from the outside agencies also. And if you remember, even UAE had asked them to get the money back from them. And similarly, there are no forthcoming money which is they are looking forward to as of now. So they will have to work it out, and the summers are still approaching and they will have more problems. So they are probably looking into that and trying to say it right now that the problem is not ours, whereas
Fair
it will
enough,
sooner
sir.
or later come out.
Fair
and we
enough,
have to
sir.
bring it out very clearly that the problem
All right, sir.
is,
We've run out
and
of time, but I appreciate everybody who joined in. I really appreciate everybody who joined in. Thank you, everyone. Some breaking news coming in.